A district judge in Las Vegas is facing some backlash after, on multiple occasions, she said that she would be more lenient with people convicted of crimes if they follow through with their probation order and voted for Trump. Okay, so let me give you the exact details of what she said. The judge is Susan Johnson. She is from Las Vegas, and according to 2 transcripts that were obtained by the Nevada Independent, this district court judge told 2 defendants pleading guilty to felony charges that if they follow through on all of the terms of their plea agreements, they might be able to vote in the next election, specifically for Trump's re-election. So let me give you the 2 specific examples that were reported about. At a July 18th sentencing hearing, Johnson told defendant Gregory Galazin that who was pleading guilty to battery with use of a deadly weapon, that she would suspend a minimum term of 28 months in state prison and allow him to serve probation for 2 years instead. If he followed the terms and conditions of his probation, he could be honorably discharged and able to vote in, quote, plenty of time for the 2020 election. She also said, that way your civil rights would be restored and you would have plenty of time to vote for Mr. Trump on the next election, okay? Exactly a week later, she also told a defendant by the name of Reed Anthony Morris, who was pleading guilty to attempted burglary, something similar. But if you do everything I tell you to do, you've got an opportunity to do some great things, and possibly, depending on the time, you might be able to vote for Trump in the next presidential election. Now let's stop for a second. There are laws, for good reason, preventing judges from doing this. Judges are not supposed to pass down sentences or make rulings in any type of politically biased way. They are not supposed to pressure anyone to vote in a certain way. Again, there are laws against this. And so after it was written about, she was like, oh, I was just joking. These were all, I'm trying to be humorous. It's not a big deal, except it is a big deal, okay? There's an imbalance of power. You are a judge who is determining the fate of these individuals. And when you talk about, oh, and then you can vote for Trump, that's essentially pressuring them to vote for your candidate of choice.
Yeah, if it turns out that she's progressive and was actually joking, I'd say, don't do that. That's a really bad joke. And as a judge, they have no idea you're joking. They might take it seriously. It's just improper completely. But if we were to find out that she was a conservative who voted for Trump, then where's the joke? There's no joke.
So her voting record is sealed, right? And that's a privacy issue that I'm supportive of. We shouldn't have to know who someone voted for. However, we do know that she made one political donation, and it was for someone on the right. So let's go to graphic 30. Her only state or federal political donation is $500 to a group called Leadership PAC, and it was in 2014. The PAC is registered to Dave McKeon, a former Clark County Republican Party chairman and current Republican candidate for Congress.
Oh, so it turns out she likes the right wing and thinks that everybody should vote for Trump. That's so funny. Yeah, that's not a joke. And it's wildly improper. But to me, the most important part of this is, and look, I think the criminal justice system we have in America is way too draconian in the first place. And I hesitate in criticizing any judge that actually is not draconian. But taking away a 28-month prison sentence for assault and battery with a deadly weapon, and it was a minimum, mandatory minimum. So I didn't even think that you could take away mandatory minimums, but somehow if you're gonna vote for Trump, you can. So she took that away from him and then said, make sure you vote for Trump. No, by the way, I mean, just think about it. Even if that's not improper and she was gonna do that anyway, and now we don't know. By the way, that's part of the reason it's improper, because we're not sure why you're making the decisions you're making now, if they're based on your politics or if because you really thought he shouldn't have to go to prison for that, okay? But even if you were gonna make that decision anyway, I mean, how could you not think that that guy just thinks, oh my God, I just got away with 28-month prison sentence that I would have served for an assault with a deadly weapon, and she told me to vote for Trump, that was the deal. There was no laugh track. It wasn't in the middle of a sitcom. No, he thinks that's the deal.
So there were other instances where defense attorneys witnessed similar comments that she made, and I want to give you a quote from one of those criminal defense attorneys, and this is following her defense, indicating that she was just joking. So Joel Mann says, "I did not take her comments at the time as a joke. I was shocked about what I was hearing and couldn't believe that she said that." So look, it didn't come off as a joke, even if she meant it as a joke. And regardless, you're not supposed to say those things as a judge. You keep politics out of your ruling, you keep politics out of your sentencing process. There are policies in regard to this for good reason. And you saying that it was just a joke is not good enough. Again, there's a huge power imbalance there. You are a judge determining the fate of these individuals, and it's essentially pressuring them to do something that they may not want to do.
Remember, the defense attorney is thrilled that she's knocking down the sentence.
Right.
So he should be on her side, but he's like, what did you just say? Now, it doesn't mean that they actually have to vote for Trump. We all realize that.
Yeah.
They could be like, all right, sucker, great. Thanks for getting me out of jail. No, I'm not voting for Trump. But the very act of saying that as a judge is, as I think you've got by now, obviously improper. If you like the Young Turks, you'll love Young Turks membership. TYTnetwork.com/join.